How are we doing, folks? Well, today is Christmas Day 2024, and this is my wrap-up video for everything that I found this year. What a year it has been. So fortunate to hunt some great sites this year, including one completely virgin home site dating back to the 1850s, where I found 6 silver dimes in the span of an hour and a half, as well as some wheats and an Indian head. And then the place kitty corner to that, the place I called the Big White House, was also dating back to the 1850s. And that might have had a little bit of activity as far as hunting, but I still got 10 silvers out of there myself, including my first ever silver $50. What a year it's been, man. Before we get started on the good stuff, let me take you outside and show you the trash I found. Well, here's the trash. A lot of nails, a lot of pull tabs, can slaw, wires, all the usual junk people like us dig up. It's about half full, a little bit more than half. Most targets are going to be trash. That's just the nature of the beast. Now on with the good stuff. All right, and here is the better stuff I kept this year. I got one of these bells here. No idea how old it is, but I do see people on YouTube pretty excited digging these up. Got a handful of tokens here. These first two here on the left are Red Goose Shoes tokens. These are cool and fun things to find. This one here doesn't specify anything. It just says 5 cents in trade. This one here is a beer token here for a beer. And this one here was to a bar in a town nearby a long time ago that it's long closed down. And I got a slot machine token, and I got a little aluminum one there. And then I got a bunch of buttons here. This one here is an army button. I got this larger coat button here. There we go. Might be one of my older ones there. A little hunting button here. These two here are Chicago, St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Omaha railroad uniform buttons. I'm going to ask the lady that lives at the house, kitty corner from me. That's where I dug these up. I actually wanted to make this video first, but maybe she knew somebody that worked for the railroad. This could have belonged to somebody that she knew back in the day. These were made around the 1950s. More modern button here. Another button there. Piece of a 2-piece button there. There and there, and a little button. This was fairly shallow. This was just barely below the surface. A little U.S. Navy veteran pin. Then I got some jewelry items here. This is one of the last things I found. This is really cool. I think this is a collar stud, I think. That's really pretty. It was deep. I thought it might have been gold when I first saw it. And I got 3 rings. This first one here, I believe, is copper. It's got some fancy decoration on it. At first, I thought it was a fitting because I found it just a few feet away from another one, a similar shaped object, a little bit earlier. And so initially, I thought it was another fitting until I looked closer. That's one of 3 rings I found. And this ring here is unknown metal. I don't know what it's made of. I had it tested for gold. It is not gold. It's pretty heavy. It came out of the ground clean like this. So it's not nickel. No idea what it could be. It looks pretty crude and probably pretty old. There's no markings on the inside. But then I do have a silver ring here with the cut band on it there. So this one's probably got some age to it. No stone. It's marked sterling on the inside edge. This is the only precious metal object I found, other than my silver coins, of course. And I got me this little Catholic aluminum pendant here. This is really lightweight here. Pretty sure it's aluminum. Oops, I dropped it. And then this is one of my favorite non-coin finds here. This little lead piece here, quoting a verse from Corinthians. God gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. I think it was really pretty. I had to clean it up with the SOS pad because it was really crusted, really bad. And also got my two oldest bullets I dug up. I got this big heavy lead one here. And this unfired bullet. I've never seen one like this before. And then this little piece of lead. I kept this out of the junk pile. I wasn't sure what the heck. This could have been some kind of a bag seal or something. I'm not sure. And then I got a little toy thimble. This is one of the first non-coin things I found too. I kept that. And I kept this buckle. Now this buckle here, I had to research to learn a little bit about it. This is probably one of the oldest things that can actually pin a date on, a date range. This is a Paris-style buckle that was made until the 1880s. So this is probably about 150 years old plus. So this is a nice artifact to find. And then for my modern change here, I got a bucket full of pennies. I got 124 pennies in there. $1.24. I mixed the memorials, the copper memorials with the zinc pennies. When I clean them in a tumbler, I'll pull out the zinc pennies. That's non-spendable. And I got $11.25 in, $11.15 in quarters, nickels, and dimes. I thought I would have had more than that, honestly. Pretty high ratio of bad stuff to good stuff. So let me take you over to the other table and I'll show you my better coins. And I have here all my better coins that I found. I got 19 Indian heads. The last one I found was 1883. A couple 1884s and 1887. This was the first one that I found. That one's also in pretty rough shape. Another 1887, a couple 1889s, an 1893, 1898. I got two 1899s, a 1902, 1903, two of those actually, a 1904, 1905, two 1906s, and a 1907. I have 90 wheat pennies. I'm not going to go over all these with you quickly or in detail because I know a lot of you don't care for them, but I do got some early ones here. My first 1909, my first 1910, I got two of those. Second one I thought was an S, but it's not. An 11, 12, 13, 15, 15D, two of those. A 16D, 17D, couple 18s and a couple 18Ds, a 19, a 19D, a 19S, a 20, a 23, 24, 25D, a couple of those, 26, 27, a couple of those, 29, got a couple 29s as well. I got a couple 1930s, a 30D, and the 31 is the lowest mintage of them all, believe it or not. That is a scarcer one. And then they get more common, 1930s, but to the 1930s, and quite a few 1940s and 50s. And then down here I got my nickels. I got 5 V nickels. Before this year I only had 3. I got 5 this year. That's my best one right there. A lot of detail on that. AU details easily. And then 1891 I found at the park. 1901, 1903, and then 1906 I found in my front yard just a few feet from my bedroom window. You've seen a few coins here that's designated 7 coin spill. I had a one hole, basically it was one hole, it was a spill where it had 7 coins. And all of them were together and are over 100 years old. I got 11 buffalo nickels, and this was one that was in that hole. It's my only variety one, and considering I've only found maybe 10 buffalo nickels at the time I found this, it's an amazing find. A 13D variety one. That's a pretty scarce coin. I got a couple the 1916 and the 17. I used Nicodate to restore the date. Those were the two that were dateless. I got a 1918, a 19, a 20, 23, 26D, 28, 36, 36D, and then I got the one war nickel, 35% silver. Well, I wrote 40% silver. It's 35% silver. All right. So down to my silver. I got my 1888 seated Liberty dime. Very difficult to even ID it, but if you look at the bottom, you might be able to pick out the couple digits of the date for sure. Then I got 6 barber dimes. Before this year, I only found one. I got a 1902, a 1902-0, a 1904, 1905, 1908-0, a 1910S, which is a low mintage coin, one of the semi keys for the series. It's a really nice looking coin too. I got 11 Mercury dimes, 1917, the 19S, 1924, 1927, a couple of those. This one here is virtually mint condition, but it's got some staining on it. 1935, a 36, a 40, 43D, 44, and a 44D. The last two were the last two Mercs that I found. I got 5 silver Roosevelts, 1947, 48, 58D, a 60, and a 63D. And I got my only silver quarter of the year, a last year silver, and that's also AU details. It's a pretty looking quarter. And my first silver half dollar, major bucket lister, a 44D Walking Liberty half dollar. That made my day. That's a pretty nice spread. Wheat pennies are my favorite coins to collect, so I gotta put them in 2x2s. Well, that does it. That's it for 2024. I think next year will also be a good year. Fingers crossed. Can't wait. And until then, have a Merry Christmas to everybody. From my family to yours, happy holidays. We'll see you in 2025.